Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. Kuntres HaTefila, starting a new parak Yud Gimel. This is good. We're going good, and yeah. Okay, so just what we're going to talk about today is, again, as I've talked about a few times already, that the Rebbe Rashab is talking to specific groups of Chassidim with specific issues at his time, and we have to see how it applies it to ourselves. So today is a perfect example that what he's talking about is not necessarily the level that we're holding in a certain sense, but the idea, what he's saying, it's a phenomenal idea, and I'll tell it outside in short. And it's essentially, in order to work on ourselves, and you can also see the process of what we're talking about. Last parak, Yud Beis, Yud Alf is telling you about the steps you need to do, or Yud tells you can do it. Yud Alf tells you the steps. Yud Beis tells you what's getting in the way of that. So we're continuing sort of in that way. So in Yud Beis, it said we don't realize that you think you're good, so you don't want to work on yourself. You don't realize you didn't work on yourself. The Gimel is you are working on yourself, but it's not working because you're not being specific enough. And that's what we're going to talk about. And this is a very fundamental thing, that when you want to work on yourself, you need to recognize the details of what it is that you need to be working on. Parak Yud Gimel, page 130. Yes, this is good. And I hope maybe we had to finish it today. Okay, let's go. Refining one's personality. Failure to refine one's character results from paying attention to all the specific divisions of evil. It's rectifying natural dispositions. Now, another virulent sickness afflicting some of Anash, so another big issue when it comes to not having the desired effects from davening. And here he's talking about levels of people that they daven and they put in the effort and they do all the right things, but it's still not working. Let's see. Those who serve God with their minds and hearts during prayer, but nonetheless, these individuals have failed to benefit their souls through their avodah, to purify and rectify the natural dispositions in accord with each person's own nature. A number of their character traits are most wicked and despicable, meaning they daven, they put in all the effort, but still there's plenty of things that need to be working on that they're not. And he explains in the brackets how good the davening is. Those who serve God with a true service do so with deep delving concentration, binding themselves to the essence of godliness within a concept, as explained above, as is explained in the beginning chapters. So when they learn Chassidus, they're really delving into the concept and thinking not just the intellectual idea of it, but what does it actually mean to me? Are very unlikely, however, to fall victim to this disease. For possessing a genuine self-perception of the concept's intrinsic godliness, but so he's talking about the case of being the people that they learn and they really think, what does it mean to me? So then they have a less chance of this issue happening, because they sense perception of the concept's intrinsic godliness. They are sensitive also to its antithesis, to all types of evil of the natural soul that oppose godliness. So therefore, they have that sensitivity, so then they can be very sensitive to recognize when it's coming from the wrong place. Such people have absolute no desire for evil. They vanquish evil, and subdue it. This malady is more prevalent among those who serve God in the second manner, on an external level. Namely, they concentrate only on the cognitive aspects of the concept, as opposed to the godly essence. And the half-word excitation is derived only from the concept's condensed conclusion, as explained earlier. And as we're going to learn in the beginning chapters, basically what he's saying is that the issue is that there's essentially two ways of learning Chassidus, or really anything. One of them is that this is elikus, this is godliness, and there's a godly message here, and what is that message, and how can I connect to that? And the other way is the intellectual aspect of this is so intellectual, this is interesting, this is geschmack. It's like, how can it be that Atzilus comes down in this world? And then the Chassidus gives a good answer. You're like, that's such an interesting answer. How can that happen? That's so cool. But so you're not connecting with the godliness in the concept. You're just connecting with intellectual aspect, the whatever you called it. Anyway, the cognitive aspect of it. And therefore, in the end, also you just want what's the take-home message? What's the short version of it? And you're saying when you do it that way, so then you're more prone to not connecting and not working on yourself. So that person will daven and they'll learn and they'll do all the right things, but if it doesn't work, it's because the way they're doing it is false, is incorrect. Knowing all the details of one's own evil. And this is the point. It's beautiful. The cause for this disease is thus. A major principle in Avodah is that the individual must recognize all the details of the various grades of evil that exist within him. It must know what needs to be rectified. For the natural soul has various grades of evil that differ from one person to the next, i.e., whatever negative traits that are manifest and most forceful within oneself. This varies within the particular portion assigned to the person in the purification of the world, this being the primary purpose of his soul's descent into this world, to purify and rectify the evil traits. This is such a powerful paragraph. So he's saying two important things. One is the reason why this person doesn't have the right effect is because they're not working on themselves efficiently, properly, because they're not recognizing what the issues actually are. It's easy to say, and this is what we do a lot of times, and I remember when I was in yeshiva and I'd go to Faray and I'd get all excited and I'd say, I want to be different. I want my life to be better. I don't want to be this way. I want to be different. And that's nice and it's good, but that doesn't give you the tools to actually change. You need to be very, very specific, as specific as possible. What's the thing that I'm going to change? What is the issue? Not, I wake up late. So let's get into details. What does it mean you wake up late? What time are you waking up? Why are you waking up so late? What time did you go to bed? Why are you going to bed so late? What's causing you to do that? And figure out and go down the rabbit hole of the issues and figure out the details of it. And also when it comes to making the achlata to work on it, the achlata has to be very specific, and he'll talk about this. So that's one main point, that when we come to work on ourselves, we want to work on ourselves, we have to be very specific about what the issues are. And not just, I'm not interested, I want to be more interested. It's true and it's nice, but it's not enough. It's not enough to change you. And the second important point is that the whole purpose of us being here is, and this is why the neshama comes down, is to do this, which is crazy. We think, I'm not good because I have all these problems. The whole purpose of the neshama coming down here is that you have problems and we need to fix it. We need to work on it. When you try to work on these problems, that's the whole, you're fulfilling creation, the purpose of creation right there. And specifically your own, because everyone has their own issues. So without such knowledge, even if a person loathes the evil within himself, not desiring it at all, he will not succeed in correcting it as long as he fails to discern its specifics. It's so true, so powerful that when we come, we don't take nachlata. People take achlatas, especially like kids, they do it when you also get in yeshiva. I did this for many years. Achlata, what's the achlata? I have more avos Yisrael. It's like the joke they have. More avos Yisrael. What does that mean, more avos Yisrael? Specific, and so the most specific possible, and it has to be something practical. Like I say what, like in Elton, I was thinking about this. What is an achlata? What achlata do you take? Take something that you should do. You want to do it, and it will benefit for you, but you're just not doing it. I mean, achlata is not. If we look at an achlata, is that where there's where I'm holding and where I should be holding. So I'm here. I'm on level 1, and I should be on level 10. So what do I need to do to get in level 10? What am I going to be doing to be in level 10? But that doesn't work. It's not about where you need to go. It is, but practically, it's what's the next step that I can practically do to get myself one step closer to level 10? And that's the achlata we need to take. And it could be very simple things that you could be too embarrassed to tell anyone. But it's irrelevant of other people, between you and Hashem. And so therefore, that's how you look at it. And you have to recognize the details of the issue and take the steps, the one step closer needed. This then is the cause for the aforementioned disease, whereby a person, even after toiling in avodah prayer, still has the same despicable character traits as before. For when an individual during prayer becomes awakened with a love for God to the extent that he yearns for and desires godliness, he will not desire the evil, the animal soul's natural dispositions. He will make a soulful resolution and not to be drawn by them. So he davens, he's excited. He's like, I don't want to be connected to this thing. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to bed later. I don't want to watch movies before I go to bed. I want to get up. I want to get up early. I want to get up in time. I want to eat healthy. I want to take care of myself. I want to be a nicer friend. And he has all this inspiration during his davening, yet that's all in regards to the general evil of the animal soul. Or in the vernacular, like I said before, when he says this in Yiddish, it means he's trying to really hit it home in a language that they understand. He knows full well that his general conduct is not good at all, and he truly does not want it. He firmly resolves to flee from evil and to act only virtuously. But his resolution, though, has no impact on its details. And it's such a sad state because he really wants it. He wants to change. He davens properly, and he's like, I'm going to be different. We say to ourselves, my life's going to be different. Tishrei, I'm going to change. Kislev is going to come. I'm going to Chassidish month. It's all going to change. But what happens in the end? Unfortunately, too many times we come back. And what has changed? Nothing. We're still doing the same things. Why? What happened? The problem isn't not the enthusiasm. You have the enthusiasm. You want it. The problem is you haven't specified it. And this is what he's talking about. You have to specify it. Therefore, later on, when a particular negative trait is aroused, such as anger or the like, or when some desire or lust is awakened, he will be unable to restrain himself. In addition, when his attention is diverted, he may act out of habit and nature, forgetting his early resolution. For to begin with, he never actually subdued this particular trait, and his general resolve to eschew evil is of no help to him in subduing a specific evil trait. So he's saying there's a few issues, because later on, when it comes to the situation, you said, I want to be different, I want life to be better. But when it comes to that situation, you don't have the tools, because you forget about what you talked about, or you haven't really worked on it, or you haven't detailed it. So I want my life to be different. I want to have a better morning, but you're still going to bed later, 1, 2 in the morning, and you're doing all the things beforehand which cause you to go to bed that late. You're like, oh man, why is it keeping happening? Oh man, I'm going to make sure to get up earlier. But you haven't specified the issue at hand to actually work on yourself. Moreover, having nothing to grasp onto, because when you're davening, you're not thinking about a specific issue, just a general issue. This general resolve itself will not endure. In general, it is comparable to any matter that is only peripheral, in that it is altogether unsuited to effectuating anything concrete, especially something specific. So ultimately, it's beautiful also he's saying that, and I think a lot of us can relate to this, that we want to change, we want to work on ourselves, we want our lives to be better. And that's what he's saying. The person's issue is not that he is not interested. He is interested. We are interested, and we want to do all these good things. We want our lives to be better. We want to be more connected. We want to look different. We want to feel different. We want to have all that. The only thing we're lacking is the recognition that we got to detail it. We got to find the details, what it is, and really, like, what specifically do I need to be working on? And that specifics should be, in my opinion, small things. It doesn't have to be large things. It can be making sure to turn off my phone make sure my phone is off in the morning until I've finished davening. It could be recognizing, why am I going to bed so late, and what can I do to change that? And what's one little thing I can do to change that? And again, the achlot is not where I am and where I should be, but where I am, where I should be, and what's the next step that I can do to take myself a little bit closer. What's the time? Yeah, we can finish. We're finished. Subduing a single evil trait. And what we're going to end up saying, he's saying, and again, it's so beautiful because you think like these Chassidim of the Rebbe Rashab are like way above and beyond us, but the way he talks is exactly like us. And the end of he's saying, the last thing he's going to say is that it takes time. Don't freak out that it's not working. It takes time. Work on it slowly, and it will come. In contrast, the bottom page 132, subduing a single evil trait. In contrast, and this is the way to do it, when a person is cognizant of a specific emotion that needs to be rectified with all the various divisions of evil it comprises. So you recognize an issue, or let's say an emotion, that you get very emotionally frustrated when you talk about money, for example. It's a good one. But you recognize, so what you do, you sit there and you think about it. What does it bother me? How does it play itself out? And when does it express itself? You look at all the details of it. And when he awakens his heart during prayer, he concentrates on overpowering and subduing this particular emotion. So then when you daven, you think about it, and you say, wow, so So I have an issue when it comes to talking about money with my spouse. It's hard. Or when it comes to spending money, it's hard. And then I feel uncomfortable spending money for Shabbos food or giving tzedakah. And how do I work on this? So then when you have that specific issue and you really brought it down to details, and when he awakens out during prayer and concentrates on overpowering, subduing these particular emotions, then he will succeed in bringing about a positive change into his soul. Truly subduing and repressing the evil traits. And then you'll be able to do it because you've detailed it. You have a very specific veda, something specific that you can do. I'm going to make sure to spend 5 minutes in the morning, or I'm going to make sure to turn off my phone in the morning and not turn it on until I finish davening. That's a very specific thing you can do. And really it comes together with knowing the specifics of the issue. Afterwards, when this specific trait is aroused, he in fact will control himself and not to actualize it on account of the firm resolution he made during prayer regarding the specific trait. So therefore, when it comes to the situation after, you have to deal with it, like the tzedakah case and having to give tzedakah, you'll be able to do it. Why? Because you've talked about this specific issue. So when the issue comes, I've been prepared for this. I know what's going to happen. And when being with David, when we were inspired, we made a resolution to act in a certain way. So when that comes, we can do it. We've given ourselves the tools. His resolution will then endure and not be forgotten. It will ensure that he will refrain from acting on it. Moreover, his desire and lust for the natural and of the particular emotion will be weakened. And this, you have a desire for something that you've been working on and you've been detailing it in very specific. So then when it comes, it'll be easier. For this was the focus of his avodah during prayer, since his rejection of the evil is proportionate to his yearning and desire for godliness. Being that when you're davening, you desire godliness, and you realize this taking you away from godliness, and you've been very specific about it. So then when it comes to that specific issue, it's not as hard. It's easier automatically because you've done this whole work during davening. As explained above, understandably, following the above method once or twice will not suffice to overcome the negative traits. Rather, a person must exert himself frequently during several prayers until he succeeds at subduing a single trait. So he's telling you this beautiful idea, and he's saying, but you got to realize it's not going to happen in 1 or 2 times. It takes time, and every day you spend a week working on it, it'll change, but it'll change, and you'll be able to do with it, and you'll come to the situations that you've been struggling with for your whole life, and you'll be able to, and you'll see a difference, and you'll see it'll be much easier to deal with. The kitzur, the summary. Some individuals who practice avodah have not achieved the purification and refinement of their emotions. The reason for this is their failure to pay attention to all the specific divisions of evil, to subtle forms as well. And essentially we're saying is they do all the avodah in general, but it doesn't work because they need to be specific, more specific. This purification and refinement can be attained only through tremendous toil during numerous prayers while focusing on a single negative trait. And you have to spend a lot of davenings on one little issue, one little issue, take a long time, but you'll get there and you'll see, you'll be successful.